shopping for a thing.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. I mean, some
Yeah.
locations, that's what you wanna do, but
So that,
That
that being
speaks to
said, do you
how
have a
the
preference of these
final-
locations?
no.
Okay, you're happy with any of them? is
But
what
I
I'm gaining.
think we need to ask artists
Yeah.
and trust artists to engage with these spaces. And there are certain kind of artists who you know are gonna engage in a certain kind of way. So,
One thing, one thing I would wonder is if the idea of light is an idea that might be interesting for us to have an artist play with, maybe we would want to put that in the language of the call. Like that, we are open to a number of different kinds of.
we know we're doing some work here, illuminating under here would be a great thing, so artists who work with
Yeah.
that, maybe.
Light also doesn't have to be hardwired, it could be solar driven, it could be reflective art, reflective light.
It could also be something really interesting, like, cause during the day, obviously it has shadows, so like what's happening with the light in the shadows during the day, but then at night, what's happening with the light that maybe might not like affect the like wildlife as well. Like, I don't know, so like, but help us, but not affect it might be kind of interesting.
Do we have anyone who lives over there, under the bridge?
I mean,
I haven't
Well,
lived under a
I-
bridge in years.
Currently, no, I've not.
I'm not-
I would say that is the safer location for not having.
Not having residents,
Yeah.
because it's a
The
real
clearing
thing,
is,
and
the clearing is very close to where there's often.
some
camps.
residents.
Yes,
But what,
And-
camps?
yeah,
And
Elvis
is-
camps
yeah.
in the woods.
I drive it a lot and I lots of times just see walkers or runners, or it's completely.
I
It doesn't
I
seem
walk
to
the
be
trail a
covered.
lot and there have been some campers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
under this bridge, okay. So that's fun.
And it's a pretty active little road, so vandalism may not be, it's not so out of
Yeah.
sight, out of mind. Just
It's
thinking of
still
those
something we would
pragmatic.
include is, do what you can to make it vandalism.
Yeah.
Protected.
I think it's an interesting underpass. I parked there and took a whole bunch of photographs of that underpass. I think it's really interesting. I think it has potential.
Well, it really does too, cause it has the sloped wall,
Yeah.
which needs reworking.
Mm-hmm.
It has the columns, it has the bridge itself. There's a lot of potential for an artist.
And in terms, I could look it up on the plat map, but in terms of right of way on the railroad, it's going to be probably somewhere between, splitting the difference between the right of way off the road and that railway, it's about, splits that right down the middle, if I remember correctly in the maps. So there's plenty of room on either side to do a wide range of things without entering the right of way of the railroad.
Yeah, it would be nice if you did something like that, that would sort of block off, the access to the railroad. Railroads get real anxious when they see people in the right of way.
Yeah.
They
Well,
actually
that's-
have. They do-
Currently,
they
we're
actually-
not supposed to
yeah.
be on that side
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the street,
yeah.
like the path is on this side of the railroad.
It's on the east
Maybe that's
side.
opportunities to prevent people from doing it.
Yeah, so that's why,
Again,
like,
the artist can play with.
there would be some specifications in the
Yeah.
proposal about,
Yeah.
don't create something that people wanna walk up to and examine closely, cause we don't want you close to the railroad.
Right.
So I have a pragmatic
Yeah.
question for you.
Uh-huh.
In our agenda here is to confirm a site, singular.
Okay.
But I'm hearing some
Or
amount of
sites.
feedback that I'm hearing is, let's give them two sites and the artist decides based on some of the things I gleaned from what Christopher said and a little bit else? Or is it,
I think we kind of all
Consensus of
agree,
this one?
maybe that I think the overpass sounds really like an interesting, like, first go,
Sure.
right? Like to cut our teeth
my
on.
personal favorite?
Yeah. like-
Why not?
Yeah, let's call it before we start.
Changing our mind?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
so
Carter Bridge.
then theme or concept.
Yeah.
So
Ah.
I've heard a lot of things. Now, if we go back to this,
Specify the underside of the Carter Bridge.
Oh,
Yeah.
Artists don't get two footnotes, fancy
Yes.
three.
My final art will be like far more specific than what the draft that I shared with you.
Oh.
Goals.
Beautification.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
It is
certainly,
really- yeah.
works for beautification,
Okay.
that was really
Seemed pretty
up there.
straightforward on that one.
Uh-huh.
And that can mean a lot.
Well, I know we've talked a little bit about, you know, Merriam's birthday. I don't know if there's
I
any
have
way.
thoughts for that
Okay.
Okay.
later.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be, the birthday doesn't have to be related to this
Okay,
project.
just-
I think we can do something, probably smaller and more engaging with the community and inviting to the creative class. So for very popular interests of your guys, but
These are cool.
can be challenging for underpass of the bridge.
Just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure.
Yes, we're not forgetting that.
Oh, okay.
So do we go with the generalized idea of beautification, or,
I like that.
cause it's pretty doggone broad,
Well,
honestly.
Yeah.
I
And that
think-
bridge is, everything under there is pretty ugly,
Well,
yeah,
I
go
think-
ahead, man.
Whatever
Well,
beautification
I
they do
think-
will add to the quality of life.
Yeah.
And I think I think this is a perfect place to be broad with the ask, because, I mean, there's just so many possibilities. And I would hate to limit it, yeah.
My personal fear is that the word beautification equals decoration to many, and
Yeah.
So, I'm wondering why we have to settle on a goal at all, if we're asking artists to come up with something.
Well,
Yeah.
No,
there are many different varieties of RFPs out there, as I've read tons of them this week.
Yeah, right.
Some are very open-ended,
Mhm.
some are very, very specific, so it's all in what we decide to give as directives for the project that we want to see.
these two people have hit on the right idea. I like including in the RFP, discussion among the public art committee as included.
Yeah.
Maybe a few directions, just so, because that's fair, saying, here's what we're thinking, so that we're not limited.
And plus, you don't wanna end up with like 100 different mural ideas.
Yeah.
You want like a broader, like, sense of like, you know,
Amen.
like if, you know, not that there's anything wrong with murals,
Mhm.
but,
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Oh, sure.
there's a chance that you end up with people just thinking a very like
Yeah.
specific way, oh, they want a mural.
Oh, yeah, well, even
Yeah.
in the master plan thing, I'm pretty sure she's like, put a mural here.
Yeah. But
Murals
there's a
are
lot more
It's
things you
easy.
can do,
Yeah, there are a lot more ideas, so.
So do we have a consensus on stating something similar to what Christopher said, that we give them several options of the goal or several layers of the goal as opposed to a single item, so that they're left with a little more opportunity for surprising us?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds good.
Besides beautification, what are those
Well, you could do
things that celebrate?
community identity.
Yeah.
Arts and culture.
we're still.
I'm gonna include arts and culture, because I think
No,
part of
no,
our
yeah.
consideration should be, is it good art?
I agree.
A good process is not necessarily gonna yield good art.
Maybe Wednesday.
And I kind of agree with you that we don't want, I forgot what you said, we don't want people to.
Misinterpret beautification?
Yeah.
No, the type of art, sorry.
Murals, you were thinking rough.
Well, I was, sorry, I just
Rococo?
totally drew a blank.
Are they-
You,
Rococo, yes.
but I was wondering
More is
if,
more, less is a bore.
if it would help the artists if we kind of let them know that we're open to metal art, like just list a couple, like metal art, this, that, and the other, or more, right? Like,
We're not medium centered.
Hang
though.
on.
Right.
Maybe we could just say, don't submit a mural.
Right, but I mean,
We're open
All
to
mediums
you said
submissions.
decoration, didn't you?
Well, we're open to submissions and qualifications from artists working in any medium.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand is where we are.
Yeah, but I think a location like this could draw
Oh, we,
What'd you say?
murals
they could blow your socks off, yeah.
more than
Yeah.
anything, so if we
Set
kind
that
of
loud.
mention that we're open to any meeting, it could help stifle that a little.
Yep, I can include that.
Julie,
Yes.
what were you saying about whimsy?
Oh, I thought it was on our list.
It is, it's on the other one,
I
other
mean,
list.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
on
Don't
The-
be-
the next page,
Oh.
themes.
Oh, themes, sorry.
Yeah, whimsical, yeah.
I-
They're
I
kinda
jumped ahead.
connected, but the
I
way
did.
Yeah.
the plan is written with the goals, the
Well, I mean, I
placement
just,
goals, so.
I just spent a lot of time with muralists under the, Independence Avenue Bridge.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a lot of whimsy going on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
so, I mean, you just never know what someone's gonna come up with.
Where is that on Independence Avenue?
It's the truck.
The trucking bridge.
Huh?
It's the trucking bridge, it's the 12-foot bridge, and,
The one that really tall trucks run
In-
into all the
Oh,
time.
Yeah.
takes the top off their
Yeah.
truck.
On Independence, out,
Independence Avenue and the historic northeast.
yeah, it's out there where the old Sheffield Steel plant,
Yes.
right? Okay, that bridge, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
it's
okay.
really fun.
Oh, I bet it's.
All right, so did that provide you with?
That is more guidance, yes.
Okay.
However, there's also these types of, there's like
Yeah.
goals and
These
themes,
themes,
there's,
goals
goals and
and
themes
themes.
kind of blend together,
I heard a lot of overlapping words
Yes.
in the statements that fall into both of those, which I
Yes.
think is perfectly acceptable from all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. This one was more because trying to follow the master plan, the first thing she wants us to do is to identify the placemaking outcomes, which is that PAC preferences was, so that's why they're not exactly the same, those are the placemaking outcomes. So,
I think arts and culture is a good broad nature of
Yeah.
goals.
yeah,
Mm.
I agree with
so, as far as other themes, you guys were extremely divided. However, the community was
That's like
more
everybody's
decisive.
own opinion.
They went nature and environment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's easier and it seems objective. Oh, plants and flowers, that's nice.
Well, I think it's easier to think about like what, you know, what your priorities are once you know the site. I
And
mean,
if you're thinking
Yes.
of imagery, oh, I love nature imagery. Maybe some of our respondents are thinking thematically or conceptually.
They might have been excited about the pandas coming into US.
Or the Olympics, we know. Sports and recreation.
What, about what?
The pandas coming to the US.
The pandas.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're getting more pandas?
We just got some, but I forgot what city they're in.
San Diego, I believe.
Pardon?
San Diego. I think.
Oh.
Didn't we just give some back?
We did.
Just-
Sorry, I didn't.
I haven't been watching the news
I didn't
lately.
mean to interrupt.
I think the only thing I caught on the news is that those two people are still in space.
They are, and they're not sure how they.
Yeah, we can get them too, right? Like, I'm kinda concerned. Sorry, I digress. I apologize.
All
Let's get back on track.
For another 6 months.
Oh my God. Big packer.
They're renting out there.
Okay, so we're supposed to be getting, like, so are the nature and environment, or are we supposed to narrow these down, or can we be broad with these as well?
It's up to
It's up
us.
to
I mean,
us.
Yeah.
How would you like to direct the
Well-
call?
Is this something we need to publish, or are these, we're gonna let artists submit whatever they like, and we're going to say, hey, well, we said
So,
these things.
okay, so,
interesting.
sorry, let me back up to the overall process of how this works. So we will put out an RFQ, a request for qualifications for artists to submit to. It's essentially a job application. They submit their resume, a cover letter saying why they're interested, and 10 work samples. And I probably put a couple other things in
Yes,
artist
you did.
statement too. And references. And then from those submissions, we'll narrow it down to 3 to 5 people and
Yeah.
provide them with a stipend to develop a site-specific proposal, that probably has a lot more detail to it than what I would put in the RFQ, since you gotta know the specifics when you're actually developing a specific proposal, and so then we pick from
I
that.
have no problem supplying the list on the left to, or in the call for qualifications.
Okay.
Like,
Except for
here's-
none of these appeal to me.
Well, here's what our community has said is interesting and important to them in
Please don't do
terms of this
politics.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And that's also respectful of our community. It's like we're telling the artists we're asking to respond, what you said is important.
I like that a lot, personally.
Okay.
And so the site then is identified in the, RFQ?
Yes,
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah.
so they're not just blindly,
Just sending us.
yeah.
And in large capital letters, every 5 lines, do not submit proposal. Do not submit proposal.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Although some will.
Yeah.
So are we all good on that portion? Then I guess we move to the next fun one, which is money, money, money.
Look how perfectly divided you guys are.
We're gonna go ahead and.
But over bigger budgets, so.
So, I'm gonna say one thing, I'm trying to let everybody go first with this coming out. In terms of the bridge and the potential for, maybe it's temporary, maybe it isn't, you know, I'm in the 25 to 75 range, just because I kinda wanna see what that gets us, but I'm open to anything, I'm just telling you guys what my train of thought was on that.
Oh.
Did you spend on the donuts?
300 something.
What?
I think there were 300,000.
The lighted rings?
No, well,
And the cherries?
we can play,
100.
the chairs were
Roughly.
100. I think this was 200, the 3 pieces was 200,000.
Okay. Maybe
But
that's-
it might have
maybe
gone,
that's
it might have
including,
gone,
like,
I think it
consultant
went
fees
over,
and all
but
that.
then I think it did
Yeah.
go over, yeah, yeah.
What are you talking about,
Uh,
Basque?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus the
That's a great
doodad
question.
on the,
Yeah,
Dan-
parking lot.
on the doodad
Parking
on the
lot.
parking lot.
And Dan again, what
And
was he?
I think that was 100,000.
Dan was 100,000, yeah,
Yeah.
he went way over, but.
Roughly.
And
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right,
He
yes.
He spent a lot of his own money on that,
Oh.
yeah, not that he charged the city much, yeah,
No, I don't.
I know that.
what did he do?
He did the still time.
Time.
Still, yeah, yeah. Like those benches there,
Mhm.
those were, he had those made, donated to the city.
He just wanted them to be
Yeah,
there.
right, yeah, those little, metal benches,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Is, so, I mean, that's a great question, because that makes us think about what we got for what, right? But, I mean, I know it's years ago, but that helps a lot.
And those are permanent metal and masonry objects.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
But I think you'll get what you pay for.
that is true.
We've seen 25 to 40%
Increase in-
materials cost increase over the
Good
past
point.
2.5
Mhm.
years.
You're making me think that there's nothing we will ever be able to do unless it's an event type scenario for the 25 to 75,000.
You could do
Yeah.
That's a good
you
point.
could do a publication, you could do
Yeah.
a small community engaged craft event. I mean, there are a lot of things you can do with that, because that's a very
I
little
think-
amount of money for the right
Yeah.
artist or organization.
Good point.
I think if you're thinking about some good lighting experience under there,
gonna
you're
be-
not gonna get it for 75 grand.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and when I filled out the survey, I put the lower end, but not knowing that we we're gonna be talking about such a large site, which is, the bridge is a big
It's
canvas.
huge.
And I think for the more money, you're gonna get, I mean, the more it's covered up, the better, right? Right?
So, I think what I'm hearing is we're all saying it needs to be greater than 75,000.
I would say C.
Right?
Well, because we had approved that amount in last year's budget, but I'm just playing, but I'm not quoting
Yeah, yeah.
minutes, so there's some resource to work with. And if that
We
could
got the
be
whole
coupled with the
CIP
improvement
amount.
resource, that would, it would just help that go further.
I'd go for greater than 75,000, and, you know, why not?
So in terms of that, if we say greater than 75,000, do we need to set a cap to that?
We do.
Yeah.
We can just set
Yeah.
that in a note.
Yeah.
So that'd be
It's your council.
between, it was, I'm not sure exactly, but it would be between 75 and 100, right? That's what we
Yeah,
would have to spend,
yeah.
yeah,
I think 100 minimum.
That was the cap we set before.
okay. Yeah, that's
It's
what,
not-
that's what,
That they
that's
did
what.
wrong.
that's-
Yeah,
that's
it really is,
Yeah.
and your question
Yeah.
helps poignantly point that out, I think. Yeah. So,
And there are a certain number of artists who just won't look at it unless it's, you know, more than that, which
Yeah.
is fine, then we just don't get to pay for it.
So you think at least 100?
My
Mhm.
single personal view.
Other points of view?
This will be in the RFQ, I'm sorry, this will be in the RFQ, the
Mhm.
budget, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to, are we saying set at 100 or a range of 75 to 100?
I think we usually say maximum budget of,
Yeah.
100.
yeah,
And we're gonna give them a stipend, right, for the
proposal.
That
For the
comes-
people that
that
come,
comes
the
out of that.
finalists
Mhm.
that come.
Yeah.
I think that's fair,
Mm-hmm.
because
I agree.
they really do a lot of work
Mm-hmm.
when they come here.
So what I'm hearing is max budget of 100,
Mhm.
or did I hear 500,000? No. 100. And, so I wanna bring up one point, is that, we like the site, all that's good. I don't think that the road project will affect it, but I think we've said enough things here tonight that there are ways we can pivot if they say, oh, good God, no, we can't do that, you know, then until 2 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I just wanna make sure that was in everybody's head, that if that happens, we're not, what? Okay. What's the next item on the?
That was it of the decisions I needed you guys to make.
And look at that.
Whoa.
I know.
Oh, man.
I will come back to.
What do you do
Mr.
now?
I do, I'm
Ice
sorry.
cream.
Oh,
Should we, for the
sounds
sake
great.
of process, have an iteration of the decisions we made and take a vote on them so that we can pass this forward as a recommendation made
That's a-
by us as a body?
Yep, I think that's a
Before-
brilliant suggestion.
Before we vote though, I do think it's important that we speak with Brian and his team to see.
I'm just gonna, based on what you guys come up with here tonight, I will then write it out a little bit
Okay.
better than what I sent you guys before, and then share it with all departments for
Okay.
feedback.
You
to
said
get-
that on your note.
Yeah.
My only concern was if we send out this
Yeah.
RFP.
Oh, no,
and
I
then
won't send
we-
out the RFP.
I'm sorry, RFQ, and then we find out that we're not allowed to put anything on the columns.
Oh, no,
Mhm.
no,
All
no,
of it
no,
goes
we
through
will
the-
fully vet the idea before we put out the RFQ.
Who's Brian?
Brian Dyer, head of public development.
Community development.
I'm sorry, community development.
Okay.
Cause I would hate to ask, like, us think that there could be things attached to columns and then all of a sudden they can't.
Starts carding.
Yes.
I know.
Okay, the main things here are that the site is the bridge, the goal and the theme is beautification / open-ended to here are our community insights. And the budget will be $100,000. Is that
I move that
The
we
core-
approve these recommendations arrived at by consensus in our conversation.
Second.
Second, third,
All those in favor?
I'll be the
Aye.
night.
Yes.
Aye.
All those opposed? So
Okay.
moved.
Okay.
So agreeable.
Last thing I want to show you.
We
Yeah,
need
like
now.
that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh,
We are.
Other possible very smaller ideas for the 75th birthday, if you guys are interested in doing something as a committee that is you know, more accessible to smaller local artists and, community engagement. Specifically, these were just three things that I came across. One was a poster design commission. This one specifically is, for like a park,
Are you waiting for a drum roll?
yeah. Oh, it opened over here. Dang it. Sorry, hard to do two screens. The San Mateo Parks, they put out a thing for this, and there's some guidelines, but then they award three different artists to commission a poster that fits their terms.
Did they have a budget?
I think it was $2,500 per artist.
Okay.
Does that include reproduction or is that animation?
I don't know.
Lifetime buy.
Yeah, yes.
Self-published.
Full commercial rates.
It's $5.
And
Yeah,
then
copy.
one was to do, live murals at an event. This one was, wherever the city is. And they had, it's more of a competition, the way they structured theirs, and they had like People's Choice Awards, but each artist gets a 6x6 panel to create during the event, and then people vote and push prizes.
Their goal was to auction those off or sell at the bottom of the description.
Yes. So, something like that. The other one that I came across, which was not actually in part RFQ, but, another city celebrating their 75th birthday is having the community submit photos to create some sort of photo mosaic, which I assume they've hired an artist to create the mosaic with what they are given. So that would certainly be somewhat community created as well. So just three smaller ideas that I've come across to share with you guys.
I love the mural idea. I don't know about like painting, but I would love, like, it would be really cute to have a couple murals, like, for the event, but I don't know about the, like, actual live mural painting. I feel like that'd be so stressful.
I love live murals, and I was part of a live mural project after 9/11. And, it's in the Museum of Contemporary Art in Moscow.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the question, what do you do with this thing when you're done?
That is the question.
So what do you do it on like canvas or board or something like
We
that?
did it on canvas, and we did it in a gallery,
Uh-huh.
and, then rolled it up and shipped it.
I'm gonna throw one other out there, cause you said something about publication earlier, which reminded me of another city I know that did I think it was a community created cookbook. It was like people who lived there submitted their recipes,
I
and
love
then they
that
actually like
too.
produced the book
Got a
as
lot
a
of-
thing, so
Mm-hmm.
there's all kinds of ideas out there.
I love the cookbook idea. I have tons of cookbooks.
Would the city sell that and recoup
Yeah.
the cost?
You're selling.
Probably, yes.
You end up getting it as your 5-year award, or your thank you for
Ooh,
volunteer service at the
yes.
end of the year.
Oh,
or-
wait, can we just, the money go back to the arts then?
Somehow.
Is this
So,
something we need to decide?
no, you do
Okay.
not have to decide on anything right now.
I'm just thinking.
We do
I guess
another
you need to
plan.
decide if you guys want to, with your public art committee money, fund some sort of project like this, for me to continue to bring you guys ideas, or for you guys to bring me ideas.
Or ephemeral.
Or if you just want to say no, do whatever you're doing as a city.
Well, if we're gonna it should include artists or people making artworks, and so a cookbook would need to include their drawings of their dish, or of their grandmother who made the recipe, or something that
falls into the.
It's more with the hands.
Yeah.
Art.
But there could, it also could be an artist that takes everyone's photos and recipes and creates an amazing book.
I did 2 projects like that.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going
Mhm.
around, and yes.
Yeah, so there could be one artist that takes everything and creates something.
So the concept is one thing, but really you're just being a graphic designer. Or a layout specialist.
But
Right?
the art of cooking is,
And it could be
an art
published
itself.
on issue and just.
It doesn't have to be cooking, that was just the one.
Download it again, right?
Mhm.
So that way it's not a thing
Huh?
that exists in space. It could be published digitally and
Oh, yeah.
downloaded and printed on demand.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fast.
Doesn't work.
Oh, I don't
What
know.
else?
It's fully accessible.
It's, yeah.
So I think you're getting the
Okay.
idea that, yes, it sounds like we are interested in participating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
at what degree, we're not sure.
Okay.
That's good. Your family's history, make it a 75-year diary or journal of the city. What's your history here? How long have you been here? Yeah, how'd you get here? Yeah, draw us a picture of your house.
Okay.
Picture your cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cats and Merriam.
Perfect. Sold.
Can I veto that?
We've just turned into an Instagram
Yes. Only if they're licensed.
Amen.
Another
Yes.
cat.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We have a requirement in our city. The license in your debt.
Uh-huh, okay.
Okay, so are there any other business from the floor? Before I call for
What was
the
that?
stand by.
Oh, other city updates. I had like a few quick things to tell you guys, just to call attention to it.
Stand by with that.
Okay.
Sorry. Hopefully you guys saw this.
Yeah.
Okay, still in draft mode, making some edits to it, but I found it to be very helpful for me, just so I don't have to flip through all the pages.
I printed it at home too.
Yeah, so.
What are you showing us?
The public art master plan
One
at a
Oh,
glance.
But yeah, when she's planted.
82 pages
Okay.
into 2.
Okay.
So, a little easier to use. So that's in the works. Otocast audio tour is also in the works. Next Friday is concert in the courtyard here at the community center, right up there. I think the Troubadour Retrievers, who are a Merriam favorite, will be performing. That's also free day at the MCC, so if you're not a member, you can come enjoy all of the amenities for free that day. And then these are like not art things, but big things happening in the city right now that you might wanna know about. Short-term rental regulations, if any of you have an Airbnb or know someone who has an Airbnb, there are new regulations that are starting in October, and you have to apply for your license by September 2nd in order to not have a distancing restriction on your Airbnb. So heads up, if you know anyone, just want to put that out there. Also, the city is beginning to talk about providing single color trash. So you might be hearing a
Well,
lot
that
about
I like. That's important.
There will be a public meeting.
Yes, the first, not Monday's city council meeting, but the August 26th city council meeting will be the first, public meeting, public comment session for single hauler trash, so.
Because
there's
our-
also a form on
Sorry.
the website where you can submit comments about it.
Our street has the trash cans out practically all the time with several different trash companies.
Yeah, we've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, ours does just because we have neighbors. They seem to take them in, so it doesn't matter who they're here.
I also asked Lauren to have a printed copy of the master plan that we'll always have here at every meeting, so if there's something you wanna reference or look at or whatever, it'll always be here.
Great.
If you happen to attend the city council meeting next Monday, you'll hear an update on county business from the chair of the county commission.
Yeah, Mike Kelly will be here on Monday.
And that's all on city updates and business from the floor? I believe so.
Move to adjourn.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Sit down here.